welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Carrie Gillespie, and I'm so happy to be here today for episode 2. I hope you guys enjoyed episode 1 with Madison from Pet Resource Center of Kansas City, and of course, Adoptable Winifred. Go check it out if you haven't yet. But let's move on to today because this one is special to me. A special person, a special dog, a special organization. So let's welcome in Jen from Missouri Pit Bull Rescue. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so happy to chat with you. You and I could talk dogs for hours, so we will keep it brief by our standards. But our guest here is really special. This is Destiny, and I remember her when she came into Missouri Pit Bull. When did she come into us originally?
2022.
2022. So she came into us, like, fill in the gaps for me. She was being used for breeding.
Yes.
And she was what we call a frequent flyer at the pound. So that means that she would come in, they would claim her, she would come in, they would claim her.
Yeah, they had the paperwork that said she was a registered, and so she could be bred, and he was a known scrupulous breeder, and he could get her back each time intact, unfortunately.
And she was in rough shape. She was, it's hard now because she's a little bit overweight now, but she was very skinny. You can also see her back foot there. She had lost toes, like she just had a couple toes that were missing. She only has one.
She has one digit on this paw, and she's only missing one on this back one.
Yeah, so it was obvious that she had signs of neglect, but she came into our program, and we loved her right away because she's such a wiggle butt. She's such a sweet girl, and she was adopted out after just a couple of months, and she recently came back to us, and we were a little disappointed in how she came back looking to us. How do we say it?
Yeah, we are very fluffy.
Yes, a little fluffy.
And our first thought was overfed, but then also thyroid, so we went directly in that direction.
Okay, so she's on some medication now. She's only been back with us for about 2 weeks now.
2-ish, yeah.
2-ish weeks, so we're trying to get her stuff under control, but we do think when she loses some lbs, she can go back onto her forever home. But it's hard to see, she's been through so much in her life.
Yes.
So to see her kind of go through it on the other end of the spectrum is kind of hard.
Yes.
For all of us. When we saw that she was coming back, we were like, Destiny. But tell us about her personality, Jen.
She is joyful.
Yes.
She's silly. She's very loyal to her people, especially those who do feed her.
Yes.
But she likes to have fun. She is also very inquisitive.
Yeah.
You know, she's kind of gotten the nickname Nosy Nancy at my house. But she's also independent, so she doesn't mind being in the room alone when my other dog is out, you know, and she's quiet and just kind of lays on her therapeutic fluffy bed that I made for her.
Yeah, she's pretty low maintenance, I feel like.
Yeah.
Especially at this point, we're working up to her walking a little bit more and things like that. But what do you think would make the best home for her?
I think she needs a very responsible owner who is breed savvy, but also someone who is going to spend time with her and actually mentally exhaust her and physically. But not like running. She's never even been a real running dog.
Listen, no. She's low to the ground. Even when she was skinny, she's low to the ground.
Yeah, she does like to play fetch, though.
Yes.
And I remember her running full force. Yeah. It's a different full force, but, you know, a full force run to play fetch when she was first with us and got back healthy.
Yep.
So she wants to be there again. She's still silly.
She's still silly.
A little bit older, but she's not, you know, she's not near the end of her days. She's got a lot of life left in her.
Yeah. I remember taking her for walks. She liked walks.
Yes.
So I think when she gets to that healthier weight, she'll be great to be a nice walking companion at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely. And she wants to strive to go on longer walks already.
She wants to, she just can't. She just can't get there. Yeah, we love her. Thank you so much for bringing her in, Jen.
Absolutely.
We're going to do our best to find her forever home. But one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you in, why I thought you would be a great podcast guest, if she wants to wander around, she can. You guys, if the camera moves, it's Destiny, okay? Just don't mind her. But one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you in today is because I don't know anyone who's more breed savvy than you.
Oh, thanks.
And we have talked about this before, but pit bulls aren't for everyone. They get a bad stigma, they get a bad rep, but there are certain things I think people need to be aware about when it comes to owning a pit bull. So I want to open the floor to you because I think that, again, you represent the breed so well, and you're very open and honest about that when we have adopters.
Yes.
Yes.
I can be a little honestly blunt.
Yes.
But it's because I care so much about this breed. About all dogs, but this breed, you know, it's the one that has my heart.
Yes.
I mean, pit bulls aren't for everyone.
No.
They aren't that adopt and bring home a lab type puppy and just woohoo, it's gonna,
Forget about him.
perfect, and you don't have to do anything except for maybe take it on a family walk every once in a while. Pit bulls more need that structure of, number one, just keeping them in the proper environment. Are some really fun to have around at like a patio and barbecue? Yeah, but getting to that point of knowing, listening to your adoption counselors, listening to the dog itself, watching it in far away from other dogs first before you ever even just let it go.
Yep.
And then once you do think that you have a very social dog as far as other dogs, monitoring.
Yes.
Not just being like, woohoo, go. A dog park where they are like Shawnee Mission Dog Park, where they're like go off in the woods.
Yeah.
That's scary because you can't see, you can't anything. So keeping them monitored is probably the word that I use the most with this breed is it's up to us. I like to say that a good pit bull owner, mom or dad, I don't like to say owner, is always watching their dog's body language so that they know when to take that dog out of the situation before 100%. Something does happen. And I've felt it with my own girl where it's almost as if she thanks me once she's in that safe space again, like, oh, thank you.
Mom,
I didn't want to be in there and I didn't want to do anything, but they were getting in my face and I didn't like it, and like that's the bond that you create with these dogs. It's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And I think you're completely right. Being in tune with your dog, the messages that they're sending, because they are sending messages, you just have to be able to pick them up and to take them out of the situations when you feel like it's too much for them. And we famously in our program, I say our Missouri Pit Bull Rescue, which is where I've been a volunteer forever, we keep our dogs separate. A lot of people are surprised to know that we don't do play groups. But first of all, our shelter is volunteer run, so we don't want to put volunteers in it. We don't have like trained staff.
Right.
KCPP, they have trained staff that does play groups. We don't have that staff. We don't want to put that on a volunteer. But we also, want to err on the side of caution as we're getting to know these dogs and as they're decompressing. We're really not seeing their full personalities until a while, probably. So we never know. So we famously keep them apart and evaluate them there. Do you want to talk some about that? How we do intake at the shelter?
Yeah. We pull from the city shelter. Primarily, and so they can give us a little bit of notes.
Yes, she's tired.
but they don't. It's like once again, even though they say that it's a social dog, that dog can change its mind at any time.
Yeah.
So we take that into consideration that they were in good standings with other dogs, but we never hold our cards to it.
100%.
And so when we get a dog in, we go through and like bodily check, make notes of all scars or missing digits or things like that. If they've, need immediate medical attention, if they need surgeries, we get those scheduled. And then we let them explore the playroom shelter part a little bit. And then we put them in their very fluffy bed kennel apartment. Just very nice.
It is very nice.
With their toys and their treat and their water bowl and their indoor-outdoor access. And I liked to not just stare at them and see how they were doing in the kennel, but I'd leave because all the others were, hazing them with barking. The whole shelter would be loud and everything because there's new meat in the house. But I would like to go back into the playroom and see how if I heard, because we also know their barks, and so if we hear a new bark, we're like, oh, that must be the new dog. Or are they all quieting?
Yeah.
Like, did we put that dog in the correct shelter with the correct neighbors, even though they can't see each other? They're, in tune to that and everything. And then make notes so that our volunteers know that, you know, maybe don't do this with that dog. Maybe give this dog a little bit more space. Don't get right up in its face. It's taking its time getting used to things and everything. So
it's a well-oiled process that we have, and it works. I always brag about that we do this slow for a reason. I think slow is so important. But just observing them, they can't tell us their story. And sometimes we know their story because they come from KCPP. We knew she was a frequent flyer. We knew that she was used for breeding. But otherwise, like, she can't tell us this scares me. She can't say that men in hats scare me. She can't say that XYZ. So we just have to be watching and pick up on like what they are their actions, how they're doing that. And sometimes that takes time.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't figure things out until a few weeks later.
Yes.
You know, because you also have the different volunteers. And so you have different personalities, different genders, just different everything, you know, different go-getters or kind of, you know, I'm standoffish with the new ones. That's fine. You know, it gives us, because these dogs are going to be out in the public, you know, hopefully soon in wonderful homes that walk them and stuff in the public. So it gives us a lot of information, I think.
Okay, something else I really want to talk about, because I was educated on this. I didn't know a ton about pit bulls before I started volunteering with you guys, but we famously, NPR does not do, very rarely do we do same-sex adoptions. We have found through lots of trial and error of our own, but also through studies, I know you've read a lot on this, that pit bulls tend to do better, and I think dogs in general, but especially pit bulls do better in opposite sex pairs. So we get a lot of backlash. Sometimes people are like, you won't adopt to me because I have a girl and I want to adopt a girl, and we're like, we have a reason. But talk to us some about same-sex adoptions and why it's not great for pit bulls typically.
So, I mean, all breeds can be where the males are egotistical and the females are called bitches for a reason. Humans think it's degrading to call us that, but I kind of think it's an honor because, I mean, these dogs are, female dogs are the higher ranking of the wolf pack, you know, so you want to call me that? Okay. But the other breeds, other than bullies, that have that disagreement with like another, like if you put two golden retriever females together, could they argue? Absolutely. But it's going to be like, "Ah, rah, 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 rah," and then you go, stop it. And they're like, oh, okay. You know, the terrier in the pit bulls, American Pit Bull Terrier, Bull Terrier, all those, is what drives them. When we say that they'll do anything 110%, we don't mean that in a bad way. Will they do anything that you ask them to do 110%? Absolutely. Will they also go through a brick wall to get to something that they want to get to in 110%? Absolutely. So if another female and a female get into an argument, it's not going to be a rah, 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 rah. It's going to be intense.
Bloody murder.
Yeah, because they don't want to. They're in it till the end.
Yeah, they are. They're
in it to the end to get through a fence if they need to or want to, but they're also in it to the end. If they're in an argument, you know. I mean, I guess they're the redheads, you know. They're fiery.
They're the redheads. The fiery redheads.
And then two males, you know, it can just be like, I want to be the top dog, you know, to another male. And so it's just more communal to do a male and a female. As long as that dog has shown they want to be that. In that type of home.
100%. So, and we do acknowledge that there are exceptions to the rule. We will get people who are like, I've had two females forever and they're fine. I've had two males forever and they're fine. There are exceptions to the rule, but those are the exceptions. They're not the rule. And so we always err on the side of caution when it comes to that. And so we would rather have, at the end of the day, we have to know that we put a dog in a home, in a situation, we signed off on that. So if something were to happen, that's on us a little bit because we didn't do our due diligence. We knew that maybe there was a risk there. So we take that very seriously, especially when it comes to children in the home.
Yes. I'm a mom, and I like to say that I am a mom of fur babies too, but my two-legged skinned one comes first. Even though he doesn't always think so. But so putting dogs in homes with children, teenagers, especially babies, is extremely important to me, that it be the right dog. That it also, though, be the right parents.
Yes.
Because I mean, you can put a bomb-proof dog and in a home, but if those parents have taught their children to just do whatever they want to the dog, to not respect the dog's food,
or space, toys,
water, even a water bowl.
Yeah.
A water bowl can be a trigger for even, you know, dog to dog.
Yeah.
To not teach the dog and the kid that these are dog toys and those are your toys. And that can be very hard with the dogs because pitties love toys.
Yes.
But you have to be that monitoring, like I was talking about. It's not a breed that you can just willy-nilly. Although I don't think any breed should be willy-nilly with children, but you definitely don't want to, because the way a dog says, I don't want that, is they snarl.
Yeah.
That's how they speak. The way a dog says, I really don't like that, once they've given the cues, is they snap.
They know,
And a kid is going to pull, and that's when you get these awful bites.
Yeah.
And we take that very seriously.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's hard to hear that one of our dogs, if that ever happens, happened, but we take it very seriously.
Yeah.
Those children and the dog, I feel like both were failed by the parents.
Yeah.
Or the rescue.
Yeah.
Did any rescue put the wrong dog in the wrong house
Yeah.
that knew that dog wouldn't succeed, even with good parents, you know? So
Talk to me some about breaking it to people that the dog they want is not a good fit for their home, because we have struggled with this in the past. We think they're a good adopter. We want to adopt to them, but the dog that they are, whether it's the wrong gender or just the wrong fit for that home, and we have to like break it to them like, it's nothing against you, but this is not the right fit. We cannot adopt you, XYZ dog. Walk us through that.
So, I mean, if someone who I know is not a jogging type person, at least a couple times a week, or, you know, shouldn't have the kind of dog that literally likes to scale a wall and turn, you know, jump around like a Malinois or something. And explaining that, even though they say, well, we'll exercise it in the yard or anything, I'm like, it's just not, you know, sometimes they don't accept it.
Yeah.
They don't. And they get very angry and they decide not to work with us. And that's okay, because that wasn't any of our dogs' home if they weren't going to listen.
Yeah.
But there have been countless wonderful stories where we did say, this is not your dog, but holy cow, let me show you this dog.
You have a gift for this. She does. She'll get an application in and she will be like, these people, Shanice is their dog. Like Barnaby, that's their dog. Like you have a gift
Thank you.
to match people with dogs. So it does happen a lot.
But it also can be mistakes, because I did match Destiny, and you know, and so, but when you build that bond, and the trick is also not ever showing them the dog that they came for, you know, and there's been some people that they were like, no, I want to meet this dog, and I'm not allowing you to even meet this dog at their kennel, because I know what it's like to fall in love with an animal and then you're not allowed to get it. I get that. Yeah. Trust me. All my fosters. But when you make that match, and you're right, I've had a few, and a lot of them still stay in contact, and it's just like, it's so rewarding to still hear how much they love that I didn't let them get the wrong dog. Yeah. I think you're gonna make me cry.
It's true. It's true. It's really rewarding. Jen has fostered a lot of dogs too. You're fostering Destiny right now.
I don't know my number.
She doesn't
That's
know
really
her number.
Sad.
But the thing that makes it great is that you have Percy. You crate and rotate. So
3.
She crate and rotates 3 right now with Destiny. So that means they aren't out together at the same time. So she does rotations, and she's also, like I said, a working mom. Like she does it all. But there's a lot of people who won't go through that, whether it's slow introductions. I guess we should talk about slow introductions, because there's a lot of times we stress those, especially with pit bulls, and people don't want to listen to that either.
Yeah. Slow introductions is something that this breed in particular really, really needs. And some people really struggle because we send them with a dog that, you know, is very hard as far as separation, like anxiety or anything, which is why it's so nice to have Destiny right now, because she doesn't have that. But the slower you go with pit bulls, it's like adding them into the wolf pack, you know. And I like to tell people that the first 2 days, those dogs never even see each other except for outside of the house on walks where your parallel walks is your friend. It's your friend. I mean, I can dive deeper in, these dogs came from wolves. They all did. They still have that DNA in their brain somewhere. And wolf packs obviously fight. That's how you have the pecking order. And so wolf packs, they fight when they're at the den. They do not fight when they're on the hunt. If you fight when you're on the hunt, the wolf pack isn't going to find and kill a prey. Thank you. And they'll starve. So they know not to fight while they're walking, as long as they're walking, like moving forward, not the sniffari, which we all love, but not when we're introducing dogs. We keep on going, and then when you get back to the house, one goes in, gets water, goes into a room, the other one goes in, gets water, goes to another room, and boom, you decompress for a while, and then in an hour you let one out, and it has like time in the family area, goes to the bathroom, give it like an hour, 2 hours if you got a well-trained other dog, and then you put it away and you get the other one out, and then you slowly do crates where, as long as the dog can be crated without the anxiety, some can't, you put one dog in the crate. I typically do the adopted dog, and you walk the resident dog in on a leash, loose leash, because your body language is also very important. You don't want to be, you know, holding the dog and all stiff and nervous, scared, or anything. In fact, I tell people not to even look at the dogs. I say, start talking about the weather. Have a movie on. And could there be some, well, yes, but then you separate and you start over. 1 minute is a lot for a dog to see each other. And the sooner that you end something before it turns bad, the better. Because then they don't have long-term memory per se, but what they do have is, the last time I saw you, we had so much fun. Oh my God, I want to see you again.
Let's have drinks again.
But they also have, the last time I saw you, you pissed me off.
You were mean.
So I don't like you. So you want to end, no matter how short it is of a time. And like, I mean, my girl and Destiny, I have 2 dog gates up in between the hallway, and they can see each other in the dog gates, and they don't care. You know, I don't do that with my male. He is dog aggressive. Yes. But you know, I would never ever let my girl and Destiny out together. They are 2 huge females, and
you're a little lady.
And I also love their faces way too much. But slow introductions can go anywhere from 2 weeks to, we've had some amazing alumni adopters of ours go 6 months. And I mean, they went so slow, and it was beautiful.
But the dogs they did it right, and the dogs are perfect together. They're best friends. So they are. It really, again, we love people like that who listen to us and who take our advice into account. There's so many people, sometimes they come in, they think they know better. And don't get me wrong, it's not like we're saying, oh, you're stupid, we're smart, but we know the dog on a level that they don't, and we have been able to see what they respond to, what they don't. So it's really important that you listen to adopters when they tell you those things, because it could be a matter of life or death for a dog. If they get brought back, or heaven forbid, if something were to happen and they're no longer safe to put in a home, like, it's just, please listen to us. Please listen to us. Okay, I want to go back to Destiny for a little bit here, because I want to talk to you some about, first of all, the breed education was amazing. Again, her and I could talk for hours about breed education, but I want to talk to you some about when the weight is getting unhealthy. I think a lot of people are like, oh, my dog's just chubby, but obviously she's at a point where it's not healthy. What do we look for? What are the signs? When do we need to, like, put the diet on?
Well, I mean, even before the diet, if it's a huge, like, if you notice that they are slowing down mentally, their eyes, just everything. And then also gaining weight, even though you haven't increased their food and you're still doing the same amount of exercise. I think that's when you have their thyroid checked.
Yeah.
Do a blood CBC panel plus thyroid panel. There's a difference. The thyroid can be a little pricey, but it's worth it because now we know that it's the diet food I have her on and the smaller meals and everything isn't going to do it. She also needs a little help with a little magic pill.
Yes.
But I like a lean dog.
Yeah.
I don't think that bully breeds should be big and massive. They're muscle bound, yes, but they shouldn't be big and massive. Oddly, I've gotten comments of how beautiful she looks, and they love how beefy she is when I'm walking her, and I'm like,
this isn't how it should be.
But in the loin, you'll see how she's, thicker down here. She should be cutting up.
It should trim, yeah.
Yeah. And
oh, she's so cute.
Sorry, she just did a really cool spute.
Yeah.
Cute sploot. But and then also her chest. It is a broad chest, but it's not even showing her shoulders.
Yeah.
So once you see that kind of leaving, and the strain of her legs, she's not able to, So when this starts to. I mean, I get it, girl.
Yeah.
I get it. I had a baby too, okay? But when this starts to sag a little bit more and you're getting up there in years, she's looking at me with judgment. It's kind of, it's time to either react more to, does she need to change? Look at her.
Oh, she's looking at the camera. She's like, what is that? Oh, she's running away from you, Jay. She's running away from you.
But also,
there she is.
Like my male does the opposite.
Yeah.
He like right now it's odd, but 2 times a year I have to up his food.
Yeah.
Because he goes through this weird thinness, and I've had him checked. He's fine.
Yeah.
But it's just him. I truly, the first place that this breed will show that they've got too much weight on is in their loin, where it doesn't have any kind of a curvature.
Yeah.
After those ribs, when it starts to go down, and then their excitement level going down also.
Yeah.
So those are things, and find a good weight loss food, not just anything off the shelf, because a lot of them still have fillers and they aren't getting as much. So you need to make sure it has a lot of vitamins and nutrients in there.
All the good things.
Yeah.
Jen, thank you so much for being here. Like I said, I could talk to you for hours. Destiny is a really special girl, y'all. I can vouch for her for sure. And if you have any questions, we're going to leave Missouri Pitbull. We're going to leave their information on the screen, and we're going to have it linked so you guys can go check her out. She's looking for her forever home. She needs someone to show her the good life. She's been through a lot, and we are ready for her to have her happily ever after. Jen, thank you again so much.
Thank you.
I love having you. I love calling you a friend. I love everything you do for dogs out there.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the podcast. I've been your host, Carrie Gillespie. Come on back next week. We're going to have another conversation, another adoptable dog, and so much fun. We'll see you again next time.